What's up, YouTube? Mark here from Stove Sports. I recently picked up this display from SF Display. I'll put the link in the description below. I had been in the market for a while for one of these, and I had been looking on YouTube for reviews to kind of... You can't really tell from pictures how it's going to really present. And I just didn't see too many reviews, so I thought I'd help you guys out, anyone looking at these, to kind of give you a quick rundown and a close-up view. This one was $80. I used one of the 15% deals on eBay. The build quality is great. This one's not anchored against the wall, so you actually have to pull it a little bit off to unlatch it. Now, the reason I'm not going to unlatch this now is really the only knock I have against it, and it's not completely the display's fault. I have perfect fit sleeves, these plastic sleeves on these cards, so they don't necessarily sit completely flush. And I think it would be more stable had I not put those on there. It's just to protect the cases. But if I open this, they might tilt off, and then they tilt against the glass, and then I actually have to... I tried to record this video before, and I tried to open it, and a bunch tilted, and I had to stick my hand in there to push them back so that they didn't fall out. Anyway, this is the mahogany. I'm just really impressed by the build quality. It's really nice. This one is supposed to hold 35 cards. I think it looks a little bit too jam-packed. I just have 30 here, 6 on each row, 5 rows. You can scooch them all over where they're flush with each other, but once again, I have the sleeves on, so they're not completely flush. And then it kind of cuts off. You have to like kind of angle to see the whole card. I just think this, these are not completely even either. I can tidy them up a little bit, but I just think that the 30 cards in their display is much better. So anyway, if you're in the market for one of these, I highly recommend it. I have just, these were just in a box shoved away. And, every now and then I would look through trying to find a card or just kind of look at them. This is much cooler. I'll be sitting on my desk and I'll look up at them or I'll walk by. I've had this up for a few weeks. I've just really enjoyed it. I don't have a ton of graded cards. I actually... When I looked at cards I wanted to display, I was a few short, so I kind of had to fill it in. And this kind of has motivated me to kind of up my collection a little bit. So, overall, I would give this thing a solid A. Well worth the price. If you're on the fence, pull the trigger. You're going to like it. Now that part's over, I figured I'd get that over at the beginning, because most people won't care about the specific cards I have in here. But I figured I'd do a quick rundown of the cards that I am displaying. Now I have it in chronological order from oldest to newest. So 2018 to 1951. And it just goes down. So if you've seen my other videos, you've seen I've been into the Topps Chrome Refractors. I need to wipe this off. Topps Chrome Refractors. Got the Albies. Got the Acuna. Bellinger. Bregman. Recent pickup, really excited about this. The pop is low on this one. Aaron Nola, I think now's a great time to buy Nola. He kind of quietly had a Cy Young caliber season last year. Not too many people know about him, but that's just kind of how pitchers are in the hobby. Severino a couple years ago, same thing. The stuff doesn't really take off. People don't really care about pitchers till later in their career. I really like watching elite pitching though. So I am excited about this guy and his career and this card in general. Moncada, Top Sapphire. I've talked a bunch about the Sapphire cards. His stuff is dirt cheap for good reason right now. Another Nola. I absolutely love the Heritage Action Shots. Low pop on these. Super excited about this card. Seager Sapphire. I picked this one up at the National. Not worth nearly what I paid for it. I think I paid like $100. But, he had that big injury last year. Hopefully he comes back strong. Lindor picked up a couple of these update. I really want the Chrome version. You don't really see them listed too often. The pop is also low on the Chrome version. And the only ones I've seen recently are buy it now for like, 50% higher than what it's worth. My one pet peeve with this is they have the sparkle short prints, which I think is just cheesy and lame. And I hate that this says no sparkle under glove. I wish it would just say Francisco Lindor. And then, if it had the sparkle, sure, sparkle under glove. But it kind of drives me nuts that it says it there. Because it's not even an image variation. It's just there's a sparkle here. I just think it's lame. Got the Mookie Betts recently. Arenado. One of the 1,000 Bryce Harper rookie cards. I just personally like this one, and I got this one for pretty cheap. This one I think is going to be the most valuable card in my collection someday. I'm not going to sell it. Watched this guy's whole career when he was drafted. Watched him close in the bullpen and the electric stuff. And then obviously he blossomed into one of the game's premier pitchers. I think he's finished like top 5 in the Cy Young like 6 seasons in a row. Obviously he's on the Red Sox now, but I really hope this guy picks up a Cy Young in his career. And if he does, I think he's got a decent shot at the Hall of Fame. Going back to the Nola thing, people just don't really care about pitchers till later in their career. But I was just getting back in the hobby, and I was learning about, the Bowman Chrome prospect cards, and I saw the price that these guys that weren't even in the majors were going for. And it just made no sense when I saw this one. I think I picked this up for $70. Now, the one problem here that I didn't know at the time, I was focused just on the gem mint. I didn't look at the subgrades really. I could have gotten one for cheap that had a minimum of 9.5 on all of them. So this isn't really a true gem, as I've heard, where, everything's 9.5 or higher. So this one probably wouldn't even get a 10 for PSA. It would probably get a 9. The surface, I guess, is scuffed up. You can't really tell in the case. But anyway, I'm glad I picked it up. It's a PC item. I wish I would have bought a few more, to be honest. This is the Walmart Black exclusive. Super cool. The pop is like nothing on these. It's an 8, which is the lowest modern grade that I have. I just think it looks really cool with the Sox uniform. And there's not many out there. I think I got this for like $10. As you see, most of them are PSA that I have. I saw this Pristine 10. Couldn't pass up on it for $20. Pristine 10. Just one sub away from the Black Label, which I think the Black Label is pretty gimmicky. But anyway, the card's perfect. I think the BGS 10s have a premium over the PSA 10s. We'll see long term how that is, but for $20, well worth the investment. Freeman stuff is super cheap. I picked this one up for like $20 a couple years ago at the National. Then he had his breakout season last year, and this card shot up in value. I think it's come off quite a bit. I still think he's going to end up with 500 home runs. He's well on pace for that, given his age and how many homers he has now. And if you get 500 homers, you got a decent shot at the Hall, unless you get busted for steroids. That's a whole nother story. Picked this one up for $20. I've talked quite a bit about Votto. Super undervalued. I think he's got a more likely than not chance at the Hall of Fame. He'll be the first sabermetrics player in the Hall. His rate stats are elite. One of the best on-base plus slugging in baseball history. An on-base machine. Doesn't really have the counting stats. Hasn't been on too many good teams. But I think over time that's going to become less valuable, because the Hall of Fame should be about the player and not circumstances around the player. Same thing. Votto. Picked this one up, I don't know, month and a half ago. Numbered to $5.99. The copper refractor pop is like 5 on this. Super excited about finding this one. One of my other national purchases, the 2001 Topps Chrome Traded Suzuki. Super excited to add this to the collection. I really wanted the Pujols, but the price has basically doubled since the National in 2017. I think it's like $300 for the Pujols, and I don't know. Eventually I might get one, but I have too many other focuses, and I'm really, I really try to budget and not go too crazy. So I kind of more prioritize, other things. So that's not at the top of the list. One of my favorite White Sox players of all time. I'm doing a set registry for the retired rookie card for every player that the White Sox have retired the number of. Sorry, I did not explain that well. Every player whose number's been retired, I want a PSA 10, or I want a PSA graded version of their rookie card. And Buehrle is one of them. Pierzynski, all-time Sox legend. It's unfortunate he's in the Twins uniform. Wanted his rookie card. Pop is low. Got it for cheap. They would not have won the World Series had they not gotten him. Konerko, his number's been retired. I overpaid for this. I was just getting back in the hobby, and I really wanted one, and I learned quickly that it's a mistake to be impatient. I've talked about that in my collecting tips series. You just got to wait because the pop is not that low on these, and if you see a card you want, and you have to have, like I had to have a Konerko rookie card, so I was looking for a bit, and then I saw one go for auction, and I was like, well, I have to buy this one, so it went for like my max bid of I think $100, and it's worth like 40 or 50. So I really screwed up, but that was a learning experience. But either way, super happy to have this one. Somebody was listing like 50 of these at once through one of the auction houses on eBay, PWCC maybe, or Probstein. There's like 50 of them at once, and I knew, basic economics, supply and demand. When you flood the market with something, the price is going to go way down. So I think I picked this up for like $12, and now he's in the Hall of Fame. So that was a good buy. Another national purchase. This one has actually gone up decently in value. People are finally catching on that this guy was one of the best players in the 90s. Just an absolute monster. Just a model of consistency. The guy just 30 homers, 100 runs every year, ton of walks, ton of RBIs. Hit over 300 in his career, just an absolute monster. And you see, I generally lean towards tops for rookie cards, but I think this one, I don't like the tops from this year. Just looks lame. The no name on face tops, is a white whale of mine, but I'll probably never own one of those. But as far as just basic rookie cards, you can't go wrong with the Leaf. Ozzie, I just think that's a badass card. I love the 83, the 80s away jerseys. I think that's awesome. Low pop on that one. I saw this come up on 4 sharp corners. Couldn't pass it up. He was a manager in 05 for the Sox, and he had a great career with them. Harold Baines in the Hall of Fame now. This card I bought for like $15. I loved Harold Baines as a player growing up. Wanted to get the rookie card. I wanted the PSA 10, and then he shockingly was elected to the Hall of Fame. And now that 10 is... the pop is so low on him that I'll never be able to afford one. I had one opportunity to buy the PSA 10. I think it sold for $150 at auction, and I passed up on it. I said, I'll get the next one. And it actually was about the same time that I bought this, so it's funny that I was impatient on this when I could have waited, and I decided to be patient on this one. But you don't know until later that that was your only chance, and now, the 10 is, probably worth $1,000. But anyway, it was a beautiful card. Slight problem on the bottom, but the eye appeal is obviously great. I got into the 68 tops from Heritage last year. I fell in love with the design, so I figured I'd pick up one of the real ones. I got this at the National. I talked about it in my other video. I absolutely love this card, and I'm going to work on the set. One of the first vintage cards I bought, 59 tops. Obviously, the Sox went to the World Series in 59. These are 2 guys whose numbers are retired. This obviously isn't their rookie cards. Nellie Fox, Louis Aparicio. I need both of their rookie cards, but I just think this is a really cool card from 59. Great eye appeal. Billy Pierce, his number has been retired by the Sox. He is not a Hall of Famer, but he had an excellent career. He actually started the 59 All-Star game. Dude was a monster. Just didn't quite have the level of dominance for long enough to make the Hall of Fame, but Nellie Fox, actually, his rookie card is also in 51 Bowman. I just think this is an awesome card. I got this for like $30, which is awesome. A rookie card of a White Sox legend. 51 and a PSA 7 for $30. That's my bread and butter. So that's basically it, guys. Again, totally recommend getting a display case if you don't have one. There's no better way to present your collection. You can show other people. You can look over it yourself. As I said, I love just walking by and looking at these cards. And, I mean, how much better is this than just shoved in a box in your closet? Can't beat it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Take care. Peace.